You're good.
You have a video.
I'm scared. There's that. It's gonna be so awkward. Sorry.
No running. Walk, please. Slow down. Break. All phrases we heard during the summer growing up at the pool, right? Hot summer days spent off by the pool with our best friends are some of our greatest memories for some people. Some people not so much because of a drowning incident. Drowning is the leading cause of injury-related death in the United States. Drowning is a serious matter. Between 1 and 4-year-olds, it is the leading cause of death. As the statistic shows, this is a very serious matter that has negatively affected a lot of people. I have been a lifeguard for 3 summers now. Being a lifeguard is a very rewarding job, but it's also a job that needs to be taken seriously. I have been a lifeguard at Crowder's Ridge, a camp right at the foot of Crowder's Mountain in Gastonia. For the past 3 summers, I worked there, and at Crowder's Ridge we have a blob, slides, a jump tower, and like just a free swim area. At camp, we asked the children, as campers, to take a swim test. So basically they have to jump in the water, and they have to swim from one end of the dock to the other. And if they can't do it, they get a red wristband, which means that they didn't pass the swim test. So this past summer, we were doing a swim test the second week of camp, and a group of boys jumped in the water, and we noticed one of them was struggling a little bit, but we didn't worry too much about it because we thought he could make it to the ladder. And ended up, he made it to the ladder, and he got out for a second and took a breath, and then started again. After he had started back, he kind of like started going under the water, and we asked them to stay on top of the water so that we can see them the entire time as they're swimming. So when he started going under, I knew immediately like he wasn't gonna be able to make it. And at the time, I had 3 other lifeguards in the water with the swimmers so that it was easier for them to get them if they started to drown. But the 3 lifeguards in the water didn't see it happening. So I had to jump in the water and get him and take him to the ladder. So as you can see, not very many kids know how to swim, which is okay. It's not a terrible thing. Also, another time at camp, I was on the top of the tower where we have the blob, watching kids jump into the water, onto the blob, and then sending the kids at the end of the blob up into the air. So every time the kids get up there, we have to say, make sure your life jacket's tightened and land on your butt when you jump off, so that they don't like hurt their legs or something. So this tiny girl jumps off, and she lands on her butt and she crawls down to the end, and the guy behind her was a lot bigger than she was. So I knew that she would go flying into the air. So when she jumped off, I noticed that she did have one of the red wristbands that I talked about earlier. So I knew like if something were to happen, like she wouldn't be able to make it to the ladder, which was a couple feet away. So he jumped off and landed on the back end of it, and she shot up in the air, and as soon as she hit the water, her life jacket flew off. And because of the impact that hitting the water had on her, she couldn't breathe when she hit the water. So she was freaking out, I was freaking out, everybody else was. So I had to get into the water and swim to her, and then she finally like calmed down and she was like, I'm okay, like I can swim back. And I told her, I was like, you don't need to, like you could be hurt, there could be something wrong and you don't know it. And she was like, no, I can swim back. And like I knew in the back of my head that she couldn't do it because she had on one of the wristbands. And I was like, just let me take you back to the ladder and then we'll get out. So like she eventually let me take her back, and we got out, and ended up she had hurt her back really bad because of the way she hit the water. So that just goes to show you like you never know how bad like an injury could be because of water. So those are 2 experiences I have had as a lifeguard, and what these have taught me is that expect the unexpected when you're working with water, because you never know how bad an injury could be, because she thought she had just lost her life jacket and she couldn't swim back. And also that prevention isn't the only thing that's going to help prevent drownings from happening. So you have to think, like, as a bystander at a pool or at a lake or anywhere else, you have to be aware of what's going on around you too. So there isn't any specific thing that's going to make a kid not drown if they can't swim. Like, there's not anything we can do to prevent that. Also, some other things that I learned is the world doesn't revolve around me. A lot of times we're so me-centered and like it matters what I want to do. And to be honest, I didn't want to get in the water and get those kids. I didn't want to. That's not what I wanted to do because the water is freezing. When you get out, it's just not fun. But I knew that they needed help, so I had to get in the water. Also, I learned that things aren't always going to be in my control. So I'm not going to have control over everything that happens. I couldn't control the fact that the girl's life jacket flew off. That's completely out of my control. And then 2 other things that I learned is that the sound of thunder and the sight of lightning are 2 of a lifeguard's best friends. Thank you for listening to my speech.